And I had a radical heart shift from that moment. I got in my word, under my word. I just completely changed as a person. And I realized that God loves me, that God has a purpose and plan for my life, that God chose me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. So he would call me out my name. It wouldn't bother me because I allowed God's voice to be louder than his. And when I was going through transition of him not coming home on the weekends, not being there, telling me, I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you. Right. I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick by ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this. No order. God have mercy upon us.
32 years today, we walked down the aisle.
Even though he was an hour late. Even though he was an hour late. Even though he was an hour late.
What did he say?
Never take relationship advice from an older Christian woman who have been married for a long time. Take it from a woman who have been around the block, divorced, single, and is now back in a relationship. Those women will never lead you astray. A Christian woman will see your man hurting you and still encourage you to stay in the relationship.
I really did not want to cover this story. As a matter of fact, the first time it showed up on my phone, I just kept scrolling because I was like, ain't no way. But several of you sent me that same video. Like, I really did not want to cover this. Like, oh my God. But anyways, I'm going to cover it. Okay. Your wish is my command. So before we get into it, let me just say, as a matter of fact, let me just tell you right now, just because a Christian woman has been married for 20 plus years doesn't mean she has anything wise to say about love. She has absolutely nothing of value to give you. And honestly, I don't care if she's really happy. I still wouldn't trust advice from a Christian woman that's been married for a long time, because those women are really good at pretending and acting, and they're going to make you believe that they are in the most righteous marriage, and their marriage is, what's the word I'm looking for? Their marriage is blessed by God or something like that, or, their marriage was arranged in heaven. Like, they're going to act like their marriage is the best thing ever and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. But in reality, as a married woman, I can tell you that marriage can be ugly sometimes. Okay? It can be. Even if there's no infidelity, marriage can be a challenge. What is happening here? First of all, that woman should be embarrassed and that man should be ashamed of himself. Because how dare you sit there and be like, yeah, and you're shaking your head to affirm what she's saying. Like, shouldn't you be embarrassed? And it's giving narcissist, because is he a pastor? I believe he's a pastor. If he's not, forgive me. I know this is a couple, but I believe he's also a pastor. I should have done my research before I got on here, but I just had to get on here because I was so pissed with this story. This story is so low vibrational. Like, I can't even. So, main point, number one, survival is not success. Just because a woman is surviving abuse, mistreatment, embarrassment in a relationship and is going on for 10 years, 20 years, blah, 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 that doesn't mean that that's a successful marriage. That's the last marriage you would ever want to be in as a woman. Like, you do not want this for yourself. Most of the men that complain about women, they hate their mothers. The issue is with their mothers. But that's another story. So they're going to talk about their grandmothers and their great-grandmothers. And, they're going to be like, oh, they were married for like 50 years, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, sure. They were married for 50 years because she could not leave. Your grandma could not leave. I do not know why men can't get this. Like, why they don't get it. So these women are surviving. They are not thriving in their marriage. Long marriages built on endurance, abuse, infidelity, and shame are not success stories. They are, in fact, cautionary tales. Period. When they get on here and they talk about how long they've been married and how much they endured and how much God got them through it, that's a trauma-wrapped testimony. They are testifying their trauma. I do not know what that is, because to me, it's embarrassing. It's humiliating. Because these women, Christian women, will frame the abuse from their husband and even the church as a testimony or spiritual warfare. Okay, because God, I'm not a Christian, but God is not glorified by suffering that was avoidable and unnecessary. Because if you can avoid suffering, why would you allow yourself to be abused like that? Like, I don't get it. And one of the things that most people don't talk about when it comes to the church and women in the church, especially the wives, they don't talk about this, this martyr wife syndrome. Because the church really does idolize the long suffering, submissive wife. And it basically teaches women to endure everything and expect nothing. The church, marriages in the church is all about endurance. When you look at other religions, even in Islam, people are okay divorcing. Okay, believe it or not, a wife can divorce her husband in Islam if she wants to. These Christians, I swear to God, they just love suffering. And they're the same people that say Jesus died on the cross and suffered for them, for their sins. Why are you suffering? Why are you suffering on purpose when your God has already done that for you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you okay? I don't know. You tell me. Okay, so the church really does idolize this long-suffering, submissive wife, and I would never subscribe to that. And listen, take it from me, who has been in a cult for like 3 years of my life, in my teenage years, because my grandmother used to belong to a cult, and she would take me to that church, and those people in there were so controlling and trifling, but y'all, they hated my ass. They couldn't stand me because ain't nobody could tell me what to do. Nobody can tell me what to do. I'm a Leo with a Sagittarius rising. Nobody can tell me what to do. They will try, but it's not going to happen. And also, I feel like I have to bring up the pick me for Jesus mindset or mentality. Okay, because these women are so male identified, they would literally throw other women under the bus just to look holy or wife material. So, these women are basically spiritual pick-me's, and they co-sign the abuse so that they can appear virtuous. It's all an act. It's a performance. A lot of these women, they have a kink, okay? Like they enjoy suffering and they enjoy being cheated on. Like they think that if they enjoy it, then maybe there would be a place in heaven for them just for enduring and staying with their husband. I don't know. I don't think that's in their Bible, but then again, my friends who are Christians and who read the Bible, you'll let me know in the comments. I would appreciate some quotes from the Bible for you guys. I used to have a Bible, but I need to get a new one. And ladies, you gotta protect your sanity. You gotta prioritize peace. You have to prioritize emotional safety and real love, because God doesn't want you to be in a miserable marriage. Taking advice from these women are dangerous and a complete waste of your time and energy. Leave them alone. And if you're a Christian woman and you grew up in the church, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, because maybe your mother is in one of these marriages. This woman wasn't loyal. She was lost. Okay? This bitch is lost. As a matter of fact, this is not even a marriage. This is a hostage situation with a cross, with a cross hanging over it. That's basically what this is. Because you do not have to die on an altar of someone else's dysfunction. Why are you doing that? Like, you don't have to do all of this. As for her husband, this man is a narcissist. And if he's a pastor, because I was assuming that he was, I'm sure when I go and I look at the video again, it might turn out that he's not, but I'm not going to edit this video, okay? But let's assume that he's a pastor. This is someone with spiritual authority. And the fact that he's sitting there co-signing this horror story, like it's a love testament, is telling a story here. It's telling me everything I need to know about him. Okay, because it's giving cult leader vibes. He's definitely not repentant. And he's not broken by all of this. He's not moved. That man is sitting there smug. And he is definitely validated, because most likely the church has already elevated him, because these men will do horrible things in the church and the church will forgive them, because why? Forgiveness, blah, blah, blah. We should forgive everyone. I think the fuck not. I'm not going to forgive you. My forgiveness doesn't come that easy. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I believe that, he's weaponizing their religion because in a way to maintain power. And for some reason, every narcissist always loved to lean on religion. You all remember when Derek Jackson cheated on his wife and nobody knew he was married? What was the first thing he did? He got on the internet. He sat there in our faces talking about God and how much he prayed and blah blah blah. And his wife is a praying. Like, it was embarrassing, y'all. That story did not surprise me at all because, first of all, Derek Jackson had so much women following him. Like, I do not know why you all love these men and you all love taking their advice. You all should ask, why is a man giving women relationship advice? Men don't like to help women, they like to help other men. Be so for real. Also, I forgot to mention this, but I want to go back to her talking about, when she was ironing his clothes to see the side chick, that, she would say these affirmations. Like, she was saying these affirmations, one day you're going to love me, and, she was praying. We have to know the difference between affirmations and just words of delusion. All right? Because, I mean, saying these affirmations while being abused is crazy work. Okay? It's not an affirmation. Saying one day you will love me while being abused by this man and embarrassed, call out your name, is not affirmation. That's delusion. Dressed up in church language. That's not faith. That's a trauma bond. Okay, this is spiritualized dysfunction, and it's wrapped up in this ghetto ass testimony. Because what's really going on here is a woman who was conditioned to abandon herself in service of a man, and this man never had to change to keep her. I just think it's so fascinating that women will forgive a man that will do them wrong 1,000 times. But that same woman would cut off her friend, her girlfriend, if her girlfriend makes one mistake. Just one mistake. But y'all will have these men doing y'all all manner of evil, and y'all will keep forgiving them and forgiving them and forgiving them. Y'all are sick. Okay? Because what a lot of people are not talking about is that a lot of women in the church are groomed, yes, groomed to believe that suffering in marriage is a virtue. Because they really do believe that if they endure pain with grace, God will reward them, and that they can pray a man into righteousness, iron his clothes so that he could go see the side chick, is spiritualized self-harm. That's not faith. And you know what? It just means to me, it just means that you was an accessory to the adultery. So you are also responsible for the adultery because you were helping him. You were making sure he looked good. He looked fresh for the side chick. Y'all, I don't know if this was helpful. These are just my thoughts. I don't really have much advice, y'all. I don't really have much advice. I'm just telling you all what's really happening here and what my thoughts are. Actually, yes, I do have advice. Do not take relationship and dating advice from Christian women, especially the ones that are all wrapped up in the church, especially the ones that have been married for a very, very long time. Don't take advice from these women. These women, they will give you advice that sounds like this. Oh, you should have sex with your husband even if you don't feel like it. You should have sex with him even though he cheated on you. You should make sure you cook food for him and iron his clothes, etc., etc. That's what they're going to make you do. They will make you reward this man for being an absolute pig. Yeah, that's my advice, y'all. Thanks for listening.